14, 15, 17, hello 22 people, 25 people, hello 32 people, hello 43 people.
You see, we've got guests with us today.
Yeah.
You may not immediately recognize them, but they are in fact actors from Red Dwarf, as well as technical background team. So I'd like to introduce you to Dona DiStefano.
Hi.
Played Kochanski in an episode we looked at a couple of weeks ago, but was also the incredibly brilliant, well, she was called the AFM. She was in fact the Stasi, the coordinator, the mine commandant.
She was the stormtroops, she was.
And Mike Agnew, of course, in the episode we're about to see, gave some of his best performances. So you will be able to pick those out.
Some of my best limping ever.
The floor manager and the AFM, you might see it in titles and wonder what they do. They basically do all the work.
They run it. They run it.
I mean, the floor manager is the eyes, ears, and mouth and hands and feet of the director, and it really makes you wonder what the director's for.
Right, I knew that was coming. I just knew that was coming.
and
just do what Donna says, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I've let you down in this episode because I didn't notice the continuity errors. So
That's all right.
I must have been off doing something else.
Well, you must have been done because you never missed one. Yeah. Ed will explain when we get to it why he allowed this appalling continuity error to go through.
Okay, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm particularly fond of this episode because
Mike Agnew appears in series 3 in the opening titles.
Oh, you're in the opening titles next series, Mike.
Mike.
You might be, mate.
Do I get repeats for that?
Hi, Wales. Hi, Isle of Man. Sorry, Ed, you were saying.
So it's a particularly good episode. I like it very much for two reasons. One is it's a genuine mystery. You really don't know what's going to happen. It slowly reveals itself. It's really good. And also, this is our first foray out onto location. And of course, we went the easy way by shooting at night, which is twice as difficult as shooting in the day, at a location that was an ex-rubbish dump landfill that was on fire.
Who found that location, guys?
Actually, I think Donna and I were on our way back from
having given up finding anything that looked like a lunar landscape.
Yeah.
We were on 1 meters from Rill down, and then we found it.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant because they came to show it to me, and I looked at it and I thought, A, this is good, it looks like a moonscape, and B, it appears to be on fire. And what it was, it's a landfill with rubbish underneath, and the rubbish compressed, and the heat starts, and the fire starts underneath, and it glowed through
so
the ground. So
you did actually film at night on a toxic waste dump, which was on fire?
Yeah. I mean, these days, I'm not sure
Donna,
you'd get away with it.
Did you sign a health and safety certificate?
I don't know, I was written down in the hazard assessment form for us to actually get cleared to actually work on it. I think I must have lied.
I think you must have done it.
A tiny bit.
And the thing is, this was our very first, as Ed said, our first outside broadcast filming. And I thought, I've arrived in the full glamour of show business here in this stinking, burning mound in the middle of the night near Rio.
There were sort of iron posts sticking out of it that you could fall over and tear your genitals off with. So we had to put plastic cups on those so you could see them at night. I mean, it really was a fairly miserable location. But boy, look at the results. I mean, come on.
You say this was the first because you actually shot this before you shot on Real Beach.
Yeah. So as I explained before, what we tended to do is we'd shoot all the exterior sequences before we went into the studios to shoot anything. So we'd shoot all the exterior episodes, scenes for all the episodes ahead of the game. And some episodes that didn't have exteriors in them is probably because those scripts hadn't actually been quite finished by the time we got to the point where we were filming.
Somebody's asking, how do they get chat on an iPad? And I'm not sure you can, but if you can get it, it's on your bottom. If you just run the cursor along the bottom line, you'll see a box saying chat. If you click on that, it should come up. If it's not coming up, it's because you're on an iPad, I suspect.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get the show on the road, literally.
And you can explain how Mike came to be dressed in Craig's spacesuit.
Yes, when we get to that. And also, Mike, can you point out which shots you're in?
I know which shots he was in.
I believe I'm in every shot where he has a helmet on.
Excellent.
Only three, Donna says. Only three.
And you have to identify which of the two people with the helmets on is Mike and which one is the other actor.
Like this, inside a very small suit.
Lucy,
Of course.
Lucy Smith, you're dead right. We did confuse. I confused. It was my fault. BBC in London is now partly flat. Manchester is still BBC.
That made me very sad, thank you.
Yeah.
But
Okay, guys.
I'm glad now. Okay, chaps, let's get going. Press play in 3, 2, 1, go. Brush going up. There you go.
Here you go.
So, Mike, how many series did you work on? You were there on 3, weren't you?
I did series 2 and series 3.
Yeah.
The best ones,
Don't
obviously.
forget that the first year didn't really happen because of the electrician strike.
Yeah, we had to. Yeah.
So I
That's
was
right.
4 years on it.
Well, that's womanomics.
Happiest days of your life, Donna.
At least it's more than 2.
Donna also, I should tell you, worked on Happy Families. The first time we all got together with Donna was on Happy Families. So
Oh, yeah.
Would it be physically possible to paint in space? Yeah, I don't see why not.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was magnetic paint.
Lasers.
Of course, it's magnetic paint.
It's magnetic paint. Sticks to the side of the ship, obviously.
Thanks for the memory. On the DVDs, it's called Thanks for the Memories, and that worried me. But it was Thanks for the Memory.
Yeah.
but Bob Hope's song is Thanks for the Memories, right?
Memory of mine.
Thanks for the memory.
We'll tell you a story about Rob and I both know our favourite story about Bob Hope. We'll tell you at the end of this. We both independently had heard this story. We'll tell you later.
So we're outside, having fun.
Wait, no, we're still in the shake and vac.
Oh, we're shaking back.
Now we're
My
outside.
head. Now we're outside, are we? Okay.
It's quite smoky. Did we have a smoke machine? I don't remember the smoke.
Yes.
That's probably just the fire.
Yeah, that's the fire from underneath the ground.
We did have smoke machines as well.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, and that prop cake was awful.
So we had to transport, obviously, the Rimmer's cage out to the location, and it's actually quite well lit. That's not all from the fire. That is also that red light is provided by the OB unit.
What's the idea with the light being in the cage, guys? Is that
He couldn't travel outside the ship if he was a hologram. In theory, his power would disappear. So he had a mobile unit, so that when he's somewhere else, he could still be there. Is that right, Rob? More or less?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
but you abandoned that concept later on, I think.
It was too limiting.
Yes. Well, I think we did in backwards. Yeah.
Yeah. He got an upgrade. Okay.
Yeah.
He got an upgrade. So it looks pretty though, doesn't it? The mixture of some of the wide shots mixed up with model shots with Blue Midget and Red Dwarf in the back.
And the lighting, yeah.
It's,
Oh, this is one of my favourite jokes of all time.
Where are we? My phone keeps freezing. Where are we? Are we inside Blue Midget?
No, we're still singing Happy Death Day to you.
Happy Death Day, yeah.
No, we're in the cabin quarters.
Well, you're spoiling it for me, so now I know where we're going next. This was the night Craig's first son was born, wasn't
Well,
it?
here
was.
lies the secret. Yeah. So tell us the story, Mike. Or you got the news in the middle of the night.
We got to about, I think we got about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning when this is the mid-1980s, the prehistoric mobile phone that I had sitting on the top of my car on a piece of tin foil to make sure I got a signal rang, which it never rang because I didn't know anybody else with a mobile phone. But it was, in fact, Kathy Tyson, who was Craig's wife then, who was actually in labour. And Craig hadn't mentioned it to us.
No.
Did he know, Mike?
Probably not.
taxi company, and they sent a car and sent him down to London for what was at the time probably about quarter of the budget of the programme. Yes, so he had, and he dashed and actually ended up being a fraction late, I think.
Fractionally late, but of course in the interim, with Craig gone, somebody had to take his place. We drew straws, won, and Mike got it, and so he had to don on the spacesuit and become Craig.
And being about 6 or 8 inches taller than Craig, it wasn't the most comfortable of evenings.
And he had to still run the floor. Obviously, I wasn't going to do that.
And cue me.
Cue you, Mike.
Okay, where are we now? Are we in the sleeping quarters yet?
Yeah, Ollie's just come on with his night hat on.
His nightcap on. Perfect. Okay, I'm in the right place now. Sorry about that.
Rachel wants to know who came up with the triple. Well, me. That was a great hangover cure. You probably all tried it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
No, it's really good. Recommend it.
I think I must have given him a runny egg.
I think you did. I think you did, Donna, on purpose.
No, I should have given him a half egg, but I didn't. But he's like this, holding it away when he didn't drink off in his costume.
Another fantastic invisible. That's where the way you do invisibles, like sandwiches appearing in somebody's hand, is that the actor has to freeze. Donna runs in, sticks a sandwich in his hand, runs out, and we go action, and I cut the difference out in between the two.
But you have to be absolutely still. So if you had dripped some egg on him, Donna, it would have screwed the whole invisible.
No,
Yeah.
it appears in his hand, and then he goes to
Yeah, and you.
and he grips.
I think one of the secrets with those invisibles, if you're doing those at home and you want to cut something out and make it animate with something else in the picture, is as soon as the point to cut is the fraction before somebody moves, and then you can't quite see if there's a jump. It's done on movement if you can. Go handy tip number 2.
And we had
Later.
episode like that. I'm glad we had all the technology to do it, Ed, aren't you?
Yeah. Later on, there's another episode which Mike also appears in another episode called Backwards, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And actually, Mike acting backwards is quite remarkable. One of my favourite shots.
And still one of my favourite credits is Git in Pub.
Excellent.
Is that where you're in the title sequence, perhaps, Mike?
Yeah.
It might, if
Might
Git in,
be.
This scene, by the way, is 6 minutes long. It's quite interesting. It must be one of the longest scenes in Red Dwarf.
Yeah, it's a very long scene. It's a very good one, though.
It is. You're sort of really getting to know them a bit now, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think that Craig's attitude in this is really good. He sort of like doesn't really want to know, because he does know that he's going to regret this entire conversation later on.
Asked me what it was like working with the Chuckle Brothers. They were brilliant. The Chuckle Brothers were brilliant. They like playing with me.
They were good guys, Donna, weren't they?
Well, we were saying, weren't we? Rick used to love the Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't like many.
So, Donna, every week I mention the yellow banana that's in the set. Just wanted to point out it was just a nightmare for you because it never, ever stayed still. It was always floating about. And there it is. There's the yellow banana.
No, I always try to put it in the same place.
Yeah, I know, but in the early days, because of the air conditioning in the studio, it used to float about. Yes, exactly.
Well, you say he was touring as a magician, James. Yeah, he appeared in Benidorm for us as a magician in the last season of Benidorm a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Banana watch, Molly. Thank you for that. Yeah, we did try to blue tack it down, but you know.
No,
Sorry, I got you all watching the banana again. My fault.
where's the guitar? There was a guitar by the sofa as well.
It should be there.
We're not in production, Donna. You don't have to worry about
Not in a
But that's what she would do. She would
The
do that.
Unity guitar is missing.
I've got no memory of that jigsaw.
So what happened to the Red Dwarf jigsaw, I wonder?
I don't know, but I know that I would have had to have built it up.
Yeah.
You would be the person who built it to the point where it was ready. Yeah.
Probably with just one. But I don't
Yeah.
remember what happened to it. Where it
Donna,
went.
it's no wonder you didn't have time to blue tack the banana if you were having to do that jigsaw inside.
Yeah, I would have liked that jigsaw, particularly in lockdown.
Yeah, it's taken you ages. It's black.
Oh, it turned up in an auction, did it, David? Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry, Mike.
The reason we
Sorry,
made the jigsaw was it was more than 20 pieces, Ed. The rest.
You're right. You're right.
Donna, we were asking in a previous week. Remember when Crichton prints the picture of Lister of Rimmer on the toilet?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that picture? That turned up in an auction.
Did it put it? I put everything into storage, and I collected all the scripts, all my paperwork, and put that into storage. I don't know where it's gone.
Well, you put it into BBC storage, which is another word for crime syndication club.
But Donna, you have got a very special memento, haven't you?
I have, but it's downstairs now.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, you haven't got it with you.
Go and get it.
Go and get it. Go and get it.
We'll cover for you. We'll cover
get
for
you.
you. Okay, let's all talk about Donna.
I'll sound effect.
Donna, she was a nightmare.
Doing the sound effect.
Where is it?
Lovely model shot of the over the top of it.
No, here she comes.
That is radio effect step going, isn't it? What is going on there?
That's Mike doing Donna running up and down the stairs. So it's the following morning. A hint here. Look, he's in his pajamas. And wasn't he completely canned the night before? Look at that. Look what Donna's got. Don't go round to her house and steal it.
We don't know where she got it from.
No, we have no idea. There it is.
I've been-
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a scale model.
Oh, what I wouldn't give for that, honestly.
But she doesn't keep it at the house, folks, just so you know.
No, it's under lock and key in a safe.
He's going to put it into storage at the BBC, so expect to see it on the
No,
auction
I
any
won't
day
put
now.
it in storage at the BBC. It goes
Oh, apparently somebody's found the jigsaw.
Oh, yeah. There you go, look. You can buy the jigsaw.
I can't see it yet.
I might order
Oh
it.
yeah.
oh, it's on eBay. How much is it?
Right. Okay.
No.
So it's the following morning now, and look, the broken leg business is beginning to make its appearance.
It's going for 350 quid.
Craig's got the cast on his left leg, and the
Yeah,
cast on the right leg.
Yeah, there was some cast mixed up at some stage, and I'm not talking about the actors. The the hints, clever hints that he's in his pajamas and Craig's in different clothes, so you know it can't be the next morning.
And the plaster casts are on the right legs at the moment, are they? The correct
Yeah, they're
legs?
on the right legs at the moment.
Yeah. The trouble with these casts are they're very clever. They're made of rubber, so you could slide them on and off.
Yeah, but the thing
Which
is that
did mean it took them off too often.
everybody was supposed to watch their own continuity, makeup, wardrobe, me, the PA, the director.
No, that's not. No. Okay, yeah.
You, all right,
You'd
you were.
think the actor could remember which leg he'd had the cast on, wouldn't you?
You would think. We should have written it on their leg. This leg.
The thing is that in the heat of the moment, things might have been missed anyway, because I probably took Craig to the gate, which was far, far away, to get to the road, to get the taxi. Oh, I don't know. It's such a-
I think the casts are right. I think it's when the thing drops, it drops on the wrong foot, isn't it?
Now, you know, I think it took 3 years for everybody to blame me for dropping it.
Mike, I went to, at one stage, I managed to get away with it by saying that it was a double memory. And, oh no, sorry, this is not the wrong foot. There's another continuity error, a massive one, which
There's
is
another
partly
memory.
my fault, which I'm sure the viewers know about. I'll point it out when we come to it. I tried to pretend that it was a double memory and therefore they hadn't broken their legs. It lasted for about 8 seconds before I was found out.
Donna,
Yeah.
I believe you flipped it in the edit to make it look like you made the right choice, and in fact it was the opposite.
Yeah, it was worse than that. There's a shot where they neither of them have cast on and they should.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Coming up soon, folks.
Hey, Donna, who writes the words above the bunk?
from Charlotte Edmonds, she wants to know that.
Me, I would get graphics to do it for me, and graphics would make things up.
And who signed the cast?
No, they both haven't got the cast on here.
No, but when they're signed, who signed them?
So it was me, and I've
Oh, you'd have done that, Donna, yeah.
people to do it as well.
Pretty much anything
When
that
the
was
camera
happening in the
produced
studio
it.
was done by Donna, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
You used to leave me on my own. why. I was the only one working from Manchester, and you were
Yeah.
the only one.
Look at Mike.
I would end up doing everything.
Come back up the next weekend. She's got
Yes.
15 rubber casts
The
all
extras,
scribbled on.
with Mike when he was there, sorting the props out, doing the floor managing. Oh,
Fart in a jacuzzi. Good line, Rob. Thank you. Nice model shot here. This was good. And also the opening model shot for this episode was nice. So this...
That's not called for. Spanish television.
No, that was low.
Was this part of a novel originally and then adapted into TV? Nick's asking.
Probably at one stage, but not for long. I think it's a good sort of novel story, you know, because it's...
Now, there's a shot. Sorry,
Mystery.
folks. They should be wearing casts in that shot, and they're not. Oh, shit. Or that one. Or that one. My error. Entirely my error.
Oh, they got casts on.
Oh, you remembered. You remembered.
Yeah.
they keep going on about me confiscating.
Now they're on.
Norman. Yes, I did confiscate the ball off Norman.
Yeah, now they're on. So that was a small error, but why they bothered to take a huge, great gravestone down?
Donna, wasn't that me doing my Olivier pointing there?
It might have been. Yeah, it might have been.
You're on a different scene from me. I'm back in the studio now.
All right. Are you ahead of us?
Grid.
All right. Sound effects courtesy of Jem Whippy. Thank you very much. When you open up the black box.
So, Donnie, you had to take away the football to stop them playing football when they had the casts on their legs, yeah?
Yeah.
No, in the rehearsal rooms. You know,
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
rooms are with all those metal poles or doorways, and they come in, and the three of them are playing football.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't tell people that he actually strained his ankle. Luckily, he's not in vision.
Yeah.
But I have to do first aid on him and everything, write it up in the accident report. But
It's like the English cricket team all over again, playing football just before the match.
So we managed to get a nice high-angle camera there. I can't remember how we did that, Mike. Did we strap it to the top of the scenery? We couldn't have had a crane in for those high-angle security
Good
shots.
shot, that. Good comedy shot when they're doing it behind his back.
Yeah. So those high angles, that we must have just attached the camera to the top of the set. Oh, maybe we put it on a lighting pole. Yeah. Anyway, it's not moving. It just got him in shot. So we had to put replay here so we could go back into colour so that we'd still know we're in the past, but managed to hold colour. Coming up now, ladies and gentlemen, is possibly one of the worst chroma key scenes we've ever shot. The reason being is that I should have shot them, and if you see them now, I don't know if you're in the same place as me, but we're now in the hologram centre. And in the background, I should have shot it against chroma key blue, but I didn't. And so the fringing around the key is awful. But again, my fault. You'll see it when you cut to the wide shot.
I must be well ahead of you lot.
There, so you can, I don't know if you can see the wide shots now. Lots of shots of them are in the background.
Yeah.
But the keying around the edge of the two guys is pretty awful. But it's nice to get that compilation of Chris in the background. Lots and lots of multi-passes in the edit. Went down to about 8 generations of tape to get
I don't
that.
think it looks that bad, Ed, honestly.
Which is amazing because, I mean, nowadays you just layer it in, but we had to degenerate the tape
Yeah,
8 times
yeah.
over to get that kind
Absolutely. I mean, what we did, I think, is we shot it with the screens in the background, and then I had to put something into each of the screens. And every time you did that, there's another generation. So it started to get worse and worse and worse. But yeah, no, now these days, piece of cake.
I love the way she says, "I love you, Rimmer."
Yeah. Not Arnold, yeah.
So where did we get Lisa Yates from?
I think.
I don't know, it wasn't probably. I know I booked a lot of people, but I didn't book her. So.
She is now, by the way, she lives in LA and she's a motivational speaker, Samba.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think so. I think I'm right.
Wow. There you go. So there's that. No, yeah, it's a nice composite shot. Well on my phone.
Oh, this is really
Now,
clever.
Chris doing Craig. So where are you, Donna, at the moment? And I can tell you what to do. Which part of the show are you at?
I'm at the part where he's boasting now about having sex with her.
Right, we just got him caressing himself like that.
Right. So
yeah, well, I'm about a minute ahead of you then.
So if you pause for a second,
we'll tell you when we get to your bit.
Nick Hopkins' Ed is saying that Lisa Yates bumped into you and Ruby at a party in LA a few years ago.
really?
Yeah.
Oh. She said she bumped into Ruby and Ed at a party a few years ago. Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Try playing now, Donna. You should be all right. What are you up to?
Call me Tiger.
Yeah.
We're a little bit ahead of you now. It doesn't matter.
It's all right.
Yeah. Call me Tiger. Oh, no, I didn't realise that we met her in LA. I must, I'll ask Ruby about that and see if we can remember.
I've always been fascinated by memory. This is kind of the first bit I ever did about it, really. But when you think about it, we kind of are our memories. And that's why it seems so terribly cruel that you start to lose them as you get older. And if you had somebody else's memories, would you be different? That was kind of what I was, it's plagued me throughout my writing life.
Question for Ed. Sounds like every day was a bit of school days for you on Red Dwarf. How much did you learn and take forward, and how much were you winging it? Or we didn't wing any of it, really. It was all pretty carefully planned. Every shot was nailed down to the ground, really. Otherwise, we would never have been able to get this kind of stuff done. Had to be really precisely planned. Very, very little improvisation in it at all. It was all tightly scripted.
In fact, as sitcoms go, I would say this was the most locked down because of the constant technical requirements. The actors had to be absolutely spot on, both words and positions and movement and so on, because you're constantly cutting funny stuff around them.
Yeah, it was very disciplined. And what you used to do is there's a thing called a camera script, which is basically where it defines where all the shots are and where they come and at what point and what time. And that was like the Bible. I had to work on that till about 2 or 3 in the morning to get it absolutely nailed, so everyone knew exactly what was happening. Donna!
I would block the moves
Yeah.
for you to put in your camera shot.
Yeah. So when we were in rehearsals, Donna on her script would write down who's moving where, when, what time, on what line they moved and everything else, so that it could remind me exactly where's who and which is the best camera to put them on. But it was very tight, very precise. It has to be, otherwise we'd never got it done. Popcorn.
Now that's the overhead shot you were talking about again, Ed, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alan's now saying he meant in terms of how much you were winging it in terms of ambition.
Ambition?
Yeah, just never saying, no, we can't do that. I don't remember you ever saying.
Oh, I see. I only said, no, we can't do that to one.
Oh, Mike's got something.
Right.
Well, yeah, sometimes I remember Ed and I spending hours working out how the hell we are going to do this. And me wishing that occasionally Ed would just say, no.
Exactly.
But the underwater episode, that was said no to straight away, wasn't it?
Which was that?
The underwater episode.
Yeah. But there was one script.
Can we do a whole episode in a swimming pool underwater?
Yeah,
No.
the underwater episode. There was one script that came in at the beginning, had all cast riding on giant locusts, I think, approaching rubbish land. I do remember going, sorry, no. Nowadays we would, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people really actually think this is one of the best Red Dwarfs, if not the best Red Dwarf ever. And I think it's a combination of the mystery, which is a really good mystery, and you're really winkling away at what makes them tick here. The Lister Rimmer scenes are just really, they really cut deep, don't they?
Yeah.
The writing goes to a deep psychological level time and time again, doesn't it? About what love is, about who these characters are and what motivates them. You know, to put Lister's attitude into Rimmer's brain is an extraordinary thing to do.
Absolutely. So, Mike, which do you think is the most complicated scene we did?
In the whole of Red Dwarf.
Yeah, in Red Dwarf. I mean, there was one where they had to step into
Us.
they had to step into a slide screen and then appear in the slides and interact with that. That was kind of complicated. I remember thinking, we ain't done this before.
The most difficult one was the throwing the snowball through the photograph, through the projection
That's
screen.
it. That's the one. Yeah. That was
We
complicated.
had to work out on location what lens you were using, exactly how far they were away from the lens, so that then when we shot on the inside, the perspective looked the same when they were projected, but they weren't really projected because it was blue screen.
Yeah.
That I could then have the deep joy of standing with ice cream until I hit Craig Charles in the face.
A magic moment for you.
Mike and Donna, why did you leave after the third series? I guess it was because we moved to London and you were Manchester-based, Donna, anyway, yeah?
Yeah, I was told that I have to not do it anymore. Let the boys grow up.
And I believe
That was me.
I was fired. No,
You were not.
no, I wasn't. I think you had another project for me, Paul. I can't remember what it was.
Well, I think you joined Noel Gay TV by then, Mike, and you were directing
did.
for us, weren't you?
Yes, because we were doing all that stuff at BSB at the time.
Yeah, we had a big contract with B Sky B. We were making about 8 hours a week, and Mike came over to us and started working as a director.
And I think I did 3 of them, yeah.
And me too.
Yes, you did, darling.
What can you?
No,
Well, because I couldn't make television without Donna. So she-
Bloody hell, Donna, I'd forgotten that. That was a good week in Edinburgh, wasn't it? Up your news. Yeah.
That was one of the most fantastic weeks ever. I played golf every morning and went to work at midday. It was
That
great.
was literally a no-sleep week.
All right, no wonder I wasn't on it then.
I'm
Well,
quite sad we didn't see the observation dome set in more often. It's kind of nice for that mood. isn't it?
I was just about to say the lighting on the observation dome is very good too. They lit from underneath, which was always nice. It sort of gave it a sense of that they really were up somewhere. I don't know why.
I love the music on that scene as well.
Oh God, how?
Okay, which one's you, Mike? I'm looking at a 2-shot now.
I'm the one hopping on the left, I think.
Right. Oh yeah, you can tell you're crouched down.
I'm the one who dropped it on the wrong foot.
There we go. Bang. There you go. Wrong foot. Never mind.
I don't think
And that's not me.
That's not the, here comes the break now.
Right.
I've got them coming into the sleeping quarters.
Yeah. So have I. There's a banana.
Yeah, that's when I said that's not me.
Right. So they rip out the pages of the diary. Mystery
And the
told.
lovely little end.
Yeah, and this was actually slightly more complicated to shoot than I thought. That, interestingly, was quite hard to do.
It
Going from
looked
the
hard.
jigsaw to the actual titles was quite tricky.
You could do it now quite easily, but good Lord.
Very easily, but that time you had to sort of pick the picture back, put it here, move it left, move it right, and move it up, and then try and get it fixed into the screen, and then animate at the right moment, and then the whole screen had to come up.
And don't forget, in the edit, we had Yayan using the Cox box. So
Yeah, that made it easy. Not
Oh, Joe Sharples or Ian Symes, whichever of you it is. Why did he leave the jigsaw with just one piece left in the first place? Well, aren't you a killjoy?
yeah.
Yeah,
It just so happened that they had to rush out.
because that's an ending, guys.
That's how you do an ending.
But isn't it also to suggest that they were still in their quarters while they were telling the stories and breaking the ankles?
Thank you, Donna.
Very
That was
good.
the, in fact, correct
Very good.
mercurial reason
Very good.
why it was
Very
left.
good.
It is funny, Ed, because you look at that end, that's something you just literally do. You say you wouldn't think anything of it, would you? Now,
No, you could do it in 10 minutes, but it took ages. And actually, I have to give a big shout out at this point to Ed Wooden, who edited these shows brilliantly. And I mean, what I was stuffing into his edit, we'd never really done before. I go, well, this happens here, and he, the sequences Mike was talking about with the screens and snowballs and everything else, and he always took everything on board and went, right, let's see if we can make this work. And sometimes I give him stuff that didn't work, and he would make it work. And so, big shout out to Ed Wooden.
I mean, again, I talk about having fun through the night in Edinburgh, but we used to work through the night. Ed never cared, did he?
No.
Locked in those.
No.
We go on till 4 or 5 in the morning
5 in the
sometimes.
morning.
And same thing in the dubs as well with Jen.
was-
At 4 or 5 in
was
the
an
morning.
absolute-
It used to go on for 4 days.
He was an absolute menshed. He didn't care what his timesheet said. He just got it done. If you're still out there, Ed, and I think you are, good on you, mate. You did 3 of a kind with me and Young Ones and this, and you made a huge contribution, mate.
Well, you get a really close relationship with an editor, don't you? Because
Yeah, you do.
you're
Absolutely.
there locked away for hours.
If you're on film, your film cameraman, your DOP is
Yeah.
your right arm. But on electronic, on digital, you've got very important people all around you. But eventually, you sit in that edit suite with you and the editor. Normally, just the two of you. Edit would have been.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
yeah. And quite often, you could spend 45 minutes on one edit just trying to get it right.
Just to
One
get
cut.
that. If you-
Yeah, they were really, really good. And Ed was brilliant. And he trained up Mark Wyborn, who went on to carry on doing this.
Well, and he
And,
really,
he's still a friend, a great friend.
he really.
I think the thing to remember about these episodes as well is they were all shot on 1-inch tape,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which didn't mean that you just put another disc in or zipped through the memory. You actually had to go out, find the tape in the corridor that had someone's sandwich on it, then bring it back in, lace it onto the machine, to spin it forward to a time code, to then add that edit in, to then take that tape off and put another one on.
Yeah.
So it was a long, laborious process.
It was a very long, laborious process. And sometimes I would volunteer to change tapes for Ed Wooden. And then what you're supposed to do is you put the tape on and you twist the thing in the middle, which locks the tape into place, because when it's spinning fast forwards or backwards, it goes extremely fast. But of course, when I did it, I forgot to do that. The tape spun round, flew off the spindle and buried itself into the wall.
God, with all that tape on the floor.
Yeah, I was banned after that from changing tapes.
I've got to tell you, there's one that we say you have to go down generations to create all these effects. There was one thing you could do once with the old tape, and that was to actually physically cut the tape like you do when you're sound editing with sound tape.
Yeah.
But on a videotape, it's incredibly dangerous and complicated because you get one frame wrong and you've got a jump cut that you can't fix.
Yeah.
Ed Wooden was one of the very, very few people who ever dared to do it. You used to have to go and get a special big block,
Yeah.
look through a microscope, and you could see not the picture, but you could see the little time dots where the frames come. He'd take a razor blade, and I remember him doing it the first time with me, saying, Paul, you do understand, if I've got this wrong, we can't retrieve it. I've just cut the frame out.
Yeah.
And he cut the frame out, slipped the other thing in, put the sellotape on, pasted it together. But cutting videotape was a horrible, dangerous thing to do. But he
Yeah,
did it.
really dangerous.
I'd never heard of it. I'd never heard
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, they used to be able to do that. When they shot on, do you remember, Paul, going back before Red Dwarf to things like the 2 Ronnies and things, we shot on 2-inch,
Yeah.
and that would quite often be cut
Well,
with a razor
yeah,
blade.
we did used to have to do it, but very few people in the whole of the BBC could do it, and Ed would
do
do
it.
it.
And then the difficulty with 1-inch was that it was multi-generational. So every time you made an edit and you wanted to go back and fix something else, you had to drop a generation. And every time you dropped a generation, you drop quality, and it was,
And at least the 1-inch was slightly better quality, but on 2-inch, we did the 2 runnies and those kind of things, you couldn't go down more than 2 or 3 generations. It would all start to blur and fuzz. And,
yeah.
So
Mike,
tell you quickly the Bob Hope story. Sorry, Rob, did you want to?
just somebody's asking Mike what episode it was he nearly had his head mashed in.
Splicing film, Alex. You're dead right. In the film tape.
If it was by Ed, probably almost every episode at some point.
I don't remember that.
When did I mash your head in? That's not true.
Charlotte, you're right. When they talk about scenes on the cutting room floor, they're talking about film, of course, because
From a
with film,
falling prop.
with-
Mike?
A falling prop.
I'll come back to you, Charlotte.
Do you know, I'm so sorry. Rob's been talking about memory and and how divine and wonderful it is. And this is 35 years ago. I don't remember a falling crop.
Well, that's
Remember-
because I know why you don't remember, because a
I
prop
remember
fell
a
on your
light
head.
falling on you.
Charlotte was saying some time ago that it's why we talk about scenes being on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
That really refers to film. When you're working with film, you can literally
You
cut
do
the tape.
literally, yeah.
It's because it's just a succession of pictures, so you can cut it quite clear where the frame comes. It's quite an easy thing to do. And of course, the bits you don't use, you chuck into a bin and they get carted away for rubbish. So when we say a scene's on the cutting room floor, it did literally mean that. But that's when you're shooting on film, not when you're shooting on videotape.
And when you're shooting on film, one of the things is that you do there's a negative, and then you get a print of that, and you edit off the print. But eventually, when you've got your edit together on film, it needs to go back to the negative, and then some poor bloke who has to have counselling about once a week does what's called the neg cut. And that is the negative that's cut. And once you make a mistake on that,
you
can't go back.
So on the film thing, you've got that same decision of cutting the thing every time, but at least you can actually see the frames.
You can see it, whereas exactly, whereas on videotape you can't.
When Ed wouldn't put his razor on the thing, he was going blind. He couldn't see anything at all.
Yeah.
So guys, the Bob Hope story that both Rob and I had heard on the circuit, when Bob Hope was a young comedian, I mean, listen, I actually was lucky enough to see him at the London Palladium, one of the absolute great, up there with Jack Benny and George Burns and those extraordinary American comedians. Although, you know, one hears that he wasn't the nicest guy in real life, but an absolutely consummate comedian. But when he was a young man, like all those variety stars, he used to tour America all the time. That's how they made their money. They toured around America. And he was a very astute guy, Bob Hope. And he occasionally, if he liked the look of a town, he'd go and knock on an estate agent's door the next morning after he'd done the show and say, just take me out, show me a property somewhere on the edge of town, somewhere out in the suburbs. And he'd have a little look around, pick a nice little plot, and he'd pay cash, normally roughly what he'd made the night before, and he'd buy that house. And after a few years of doing this, Bob Hope had property in the center of many cities in the US, because of course they were growing so quickly at that time. And he twigged this. He bought these little suburban properties, and within 5 years they were in the center of these growing cities. So he had a very big property portfolio.
I had a great story. I once was working with Bob Monkhouse, who used to write for Bob Hope when he was coming over here, and he said that they were on a plane and he was writing some gags for him, and Bob Monkhouse went to the toilet on the plane, and he's sitting on the loo, and there's a knock on the door, and Bob Hope says, "Are you writing?" And Bob Monkhouse says, "I'm on the toilet, Bob." And Bob Hope says, "Well, there's paper in there."
He was a hard driver to work with.
Wonder why never shot on film. The reason we did shoot on film on location is because we kind of wanted to keep the look the same. One of the problems with sitcoms in the past, say if you looked at something like Last of Summer Wine, when you had a shot exterior on film, it all looked very nice and lovely, and then you'd see somebody open the door and then you'd cut to the studio and in they'd walk. The quality difference was so enormous that it was something we wanted to avoid. So, and outside shooting on tape was quite new, but we thought we wanted to try to keep the sort of general look of the same thing.
In fact, Ed, it became the norm, didn't it? Shooting comedy on film, even a couple of years after this was unheard of. You went on tape.
And actually, I don't really know anyone who shoots on film now these days, unless they want to do it for an effect, because you can now shoot, you know, straight to disc and with film cameras, with Zeiss lenses and everything else. Very few people shoot on film now.
Wait a minute. Danny Stevenson is saying Bob Monkhouse had some of my jokes from Son of Cliche in his tome of jokes.
Did he?
The bastard.
Bob collected jokes from wherever and ever he could find them.
There you go. Such is life. So that was a great ep, but a really tough one to do, wasn't it, guys, as my recollection went, because we had those long dialogue scenes which they had to get into their heads and had to learn, and that very tricky outside shooting, which I still have juddering dreams about every now and then. I couldn't remember, Mike, did we shoot with one camera or did we have a couple of cameras out there on that day when we were shooting Rubbish Dump?
Yeah, we had, I think we had 2 or 3 cameras. I remember we're in a truck.
Yeah, we're in a truck.
And we had 1-inch VT machines and cables from trucks and separate sound recording. And yes, it was all, It
was like a miniature version of shooting the golf. Miniature version of shooting the golf.
Yes, quite, yeah. It was like a massive sports OB, basically.
Yeah. Only scaled down a bit.
And the difficulty of finding locations was we always had realised that we had to get the truck as close as possible, because the other thing that degraded the picture was the length of the cable.
Yeah.
So of course you can't just lay now where you can do a football match and you can lay 1,000 yards of cable. You know, after 100 feet, the picture starts getting a bit beyond what it is.
Yeah. And it was tricky for the riggers too if it went for too far. And so Donna, also a nightmare in that location, hauling everything onto the location, you know, all the props and everything else.
And portaloos as well. She has to think about portaloos.
Everywhere.
The makeup van, makeup van, and the wardrobe van.
Right.
That logistically needs to be thought as close as possible as well. Yeah.
Damien Coombe is asking, is there any equivalent of the showrunner in the SDO structure for Red Dwarf? The showrunner, guys, is really an American term. They've had them in America for many, many years, and it normally means the senior writer. Larry David was the showrunner on Seinfeld, for example. It's the guy who organizes the creative vision. And we've never given writers quite that same importance within British comedy.
Well, I'd say not officially, but certainly by series 3, Doug and I were kind of...
Well, you were executive producers, really.
Yeah. I mean, we before we became officially entitled producers, we would go up to the scene people and whisper in their ear and they'd say no problem and just ignore you. Because why? You know, they've got Mike telling them what to do, they've got Donna telling them what to do. There's a ranking system, and the writers are right.
The fact is, we've never, still to this day, we don't have a showrunner credit.
No.
In the UK, but the fact is, just about this time, I mean, again, we've talked about this before when Ed and Rob and I worked on Carrots Live, we had 7 writers permanently in the office, 5 days, 6 days a week. That was we had to create a new contract. There didn't exist a writer's contract in the BBC doing that. So during this period in the mid-80s, writers were becoming more and more influential in the production of their own work. I mean, in the old days, Roy Clark would give Sid Lotterby 6 scripts and he'd sit at home 4 months later and watch them on the television. That would be the end of it.
Yeah.
It isn't like that nowadays. Writers are much, much more important. It's normally expressed in credit terms by making them exec producers on their own shows.
And showrunners, in fairness, were people who ran a collection of writers. So
yes, ran a collection. They were the head writer, really.
Yeah. So when I worked on something like My Family, there would be about 5. There would be about 8 writers, but there'd be one guy who's in charge, going, okay, we'll do this script this week. Your idea, they kind of collect the script in terms of gags and story. They'd be kind of in charge.
David Wallace is saying he gets the feeling that UK comedy is less built around the multiple writers approach, which is true, and is more about an individual vision, which is not really true, because the Americans, there is a guy at the top, or a pair at the top, who are everything goes through their typewriter, and they make the creative decisions. They tell people what jokes to, what scripts to write, what stories to write. And Paul's got a great story. In America, after the sort of tech run, the writers just come from around the lots of various other programs, because they're all sort of in it together, and terrific writers will come and just give you 3 or 4 extra jokes.
In pilot season, Rob, it's when everybody's piloting on different days, all the other writers want the pilot to succeed, because every new comedy that gets on, that's another comedy slot on the network. So in pilot season, all the writers...
So, yes, and you were telling me about one particular pilot season where you saw a scruffy guy over in the corner.
Well, we were doing the American version of Royal Family, which was called First Family, F-U-R-S-T. And we were doing written by a lovely, lovely writer called Alan Zweibel, who was a regular Saturday Night Live contributor for many, many years. And it was Alan's script. And sure enough, on pilot day, 7 or 8 of these other writers turn up just to watch the run through, and they will literally give him gags. So it's such a wonderful thing. But on this particular day, I was looking over in the corner, and there was a shabby old bloke with a long cardigan, and he was standing in the corner of the studio, and he was just doing imaginary golf swings. And I looked at him, and it was Larry David. And that day, on the front page of Variety, the headline was 3rd syndication round of Seinfeld, and Larry David had just made $250 million that day.
Could have got his hair cut.
But still went in and did the gags for his mate. That's
He
fantastic.
went in and did the gag for his mate. Exactly right. The writing community is it's competitive business, but when they're making pilots, they all want them to succeed, and they come around and help where they can.
Yeah, for sure. Collective business. Very good.
If Red Dwarf had been produced by ITV, well, it wouldn't have happened, would it? Because
We wouldn't have got series 2.
you'd never have got. You can't tell these stories in less than half an hour. You know, the biggest difference, I think, when the days when I was actively producing between ITV and BBC was those extra 6 minutes, and it may not feel like much, but it's massive. If you look at the complexity of a young one's,
It's like a third more.
it's like a third more. Also, really, the ITV comedy is 2 long sketches. It's 2 12-minute sketches.
Yeah.
You have to build to a crescendo. You have to, whereas with half an hour, you can spread and tell the story. So this wouldn't ever get done on ITV.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think you just simply don't have the time to be able to tell a story, say, as complex as the one we just told today.
No, that's what someone's saying.
Which is a real
You
mystery.
couldn't lose 6 minutes out of that. And
Yeah,
still
no,
have a big
impossible. Yeah. Although we have sometimes I have done sitcoms for the BBC where we have hideously overrun. I'm thinking French and Saunders are particularly good at making it up on the day. And I've actually had shows where I've had to cut a third out of the show, and it's just really hard.
It's horrible. It's
But
horrible.
at least that's a sketch show, so you just lose a sketch. But with a narrative sitcom, very hard.
I know some of you are writers and trying to write. Molly often comments that she's writing. You just think, Molly, if you're trying to tailor a script and you've got 30 minutes to tell your story or only 24, big difference. Whole lot of compromise goes on the ITV shows, which is why they're much more American. And you look at the American comedies, they're much quicker, they're much more gag driven. There's very little development of character or exposition of narrative. It's joke, because that's all you can do in America in 5-minute segments. You know, it's lunatic.
You couldn't in an American show get the depth of pathos and emotion that you get in a BBC show.
Guys, just to remind you, I'm so glad we tipped you the wink last week, because inevitably Waiting for Godot for tonight at 7 o'clock sold out. So I hope those of you who wanted to got in early. We are delighted, I have to say, that we've sold out, and the Royal Television.
And thank you guys, because you were the first rush and got the whole
First
thing
rush,
going.
you got in early. We sold a lot of tickets that Sunday afternoon. Donna, what were you going to say?
I've worked on Waiting for Godot, but they're all exchanged there at Roundtown.
You see, there's no way you haven't been, Donna. There's no way you haven't been. Anyway, those of you who did get in early, I'll say, well, I'm glad we were able to give you the tip off and get you in before it officially opened. See you at 7 o'clock tonight. We're all.
Well, Paul and I both sat in on the rehearsal on Friday.
Yeah. It's special.
It's stunning. It's
And not to give anything away. Not to give
Bob has
anything
got a
away.
massive cue sheet, and he's
I am
putting.
Godot.
You what, Mike?
Oh, you've spoilt it.
You know, you've got me and Mike.
Mike, Godot doesn't turn up, Mike, did you say?
No, I was just saying that, with a cast on my leg, it's one of my starring performances. I am Godot.
Yes.
Godot.
You are Godot.
Those of you who are watching,
true.
send best wishes to Rob, because he's got some bloody complicated cues that he wasn't expecting. He's got to cut in.
Guys out there, do any of you know the Harlan Ellison story? I have no mouth and I must scream. That's how I feel right now.
Next week, folks, we'll finish off series 2 by doing the Parallel Universe, and we will have a special guest with us featuring from Parallel Universe. And then the following week, we have a very special guest. We've been working
Drum roll, drum roll.
on this one. Drum roll. Are we going to announce, Rob?
Yeah, let's announce.
We do have Mr. Howard Goodall joining us.
And we're going to do a music special.
We're going to do a music special. So you've been asking to see Howard for a long time, a lot of you. And
Oh,
he's,
have I missed both this week then?
yes, Donna, you've missed the previous 11 shows that we've done.
That's the one that I started.
Well, you only remember that because there's a naked man in it, Donna. You had to hold the towel for that bloke
I
in the
kept
shower.
that secret for 10 years. I couldn't tell anybody.
What, you were the naked man in the shower?
No,
I'd have remembered that, Paul.
About the naked man in the shower. Remember we did it in the studio, and I was the one that was hiring all the extras.
Yeah.
And I asked this person, are you afraid of being naked? Oh no, I'm not afraid, I can show everything. And then he turns up and he's a shivering wreck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we had to do it twice.
Which was supposed to be closed, and all the electricians were going up into the light, looking down, laughing at him. And in the end, I had to hire a model, which cost a lot more money.
Yeah.
The model
Because-
for the shower, and then in the gents' toilet, in the shower in there. And could we stop him from turning round completely naked? No.
No, no.
Yeah. He was fine.
He was proud.
Yeah, he was proud. And he was actually rather good, the second guy. So it was probably...
He is actually very good at it. He
Yeah,
is
it was a bit of rough justice.
Listen, Donna and Mike, it has been so lovely to see you again. I haven't seen either of you for so many years, and it's been a pleasure. You both look absolutely wonderful. They both give starring appearances in the upcoming retrospectives, as of course inevitably does the very talented Mr. Bye. So look forward to that in August on Dave, all of you. And hey,
It is, and you forget, it's great for us to see these guys
yes,
after all
it
these
really is.
Yeah,
years.
really nice to see you guys.
Good to see
I
you.
know I haven't said a lot of stuff, but this is what it was like day in and day out.
Donna,
All the guys would just go, yap.
Donna, you've said far too much. Shut up. Donna, shut up. Go and get the prop forms.
No, there was even one
Shut up, Donna. Have you filled in the health and safety thing?
damaged my eye with the
Where is the naked man you promised us, Donna? I'm sure you've taken a digging away. What are you? Have you found the dump site yet, Donna? Really, Donna? Chris's H has fallen off. Have you got another one, please? Where's the jigsaw, Donna? Why haven't you finished the jigsaw?
I am not finished it. You
He's not even joking.
1 minute.
No. It'd be fine if Paul was actually joking.
I tell you.
On me.
Listen, nothing moved on that set. Mike will even tell you it was his floor and it was Ed's gallery. Nothing moved on that set until Donna DiStefano said it was okay.
Absolutely. No, we were poised, but waiting for her to give us the green light.
All clear my end, Ed.
Yeah.
See you guys. We must have a
I
quick...
got that letter that you wrote.
Guys, we're going to have a little party when all this is over for all the lockdown
That would be
participants.
great.
I'll go on a diet now.
We will see you there. What? Yeah, go on a diet.
So lovely to see you, Mike. Really, it's been so
Really
long.
nice to see
See
you.
you, yeah. Been too long.
Thanks for inviting me.
Mike, you will be invited. We will throw a party at the end of all this. Thank you all for listening. See you next week. See a few of you later on this evening.
All right.
Okay.
Take care now. Thanks for watching. Woo! Hey, bye. Woo!
No.